Hi there guys, I'm Nikhil from GreedyTech, and in this video I'll be unboxing the Realme 3 Pro and sharing with you my initial impressions and a quick hands-on review. So guys, here's the box and it looks pretty different from the previous Realme phones. The previous had a white and red combination. That was the layout, that was the packaging. Well, this one has a completely new packaging, and unlike any other phone, they don't have the brand name on the front. At the front it simply says 3 Pro, and that's probably a minimalistic design choice. So this is how the box looks on the front, and on the left side we have Realme 3 Pro name, that's the complete name. On the right side as well, at the top we have just the brand logo and the sticker from Flipkart. By the way guys, this is a retail unit, not a review unit. And finally at the bottom we have the pricing and some other specifications. Now for the back we have some more specifications, IMEI numbers, and it clearly says made in India. Now this has been a phone that I have been really looking forward to after Redmi Note 7 Pro. So let's see how good this phone is actually going to be. By the way guys, this phone is available in 3 variants starting at 14,000 rupees for 4GB of RAM and 64GB of storage. Next variant is priced at 16,000 rupees for 6GB of RAM and 64GB of storage. And the final variant is priced at 17,000 rupees with 6GB of RAM and 128GB of storage. It is available in 3 colors: carbon grey, nitro blue and lightning purple. And we have the 4GB variant with us right now with the nitro blue color. So guys, this is what the box looks like once we open the lid, and it says hello, welcome to Realme family. And once we open it up, we have the SIM card ejector, and following that we have some documentation, important information guide and quick guide. Following that is a soft silicone case, which definitely looks very premium. I mean, something that costs a bit more than your regular 100 rupee case. Anyway, coming back to the box itself, next we have the phone. So let me just remove that. We'll come back to it in a minute, so let me just put that aside for now. Next we have the wok charger with a maximum output of 20 watts. By the way guys, this is the same charger that you can find in all the OnePlus phones, at least till OnePlus 60. It's the same technology, and this phone can charge pretty quickly because of this wok charging. Now going on, next we have a regular micro USB cable. It's still not Type-C, and that's probably the only thing or only disappointing thing about this phone right out of the box. So there you go, it's a micro USB cable with yellow color. So guys, these are the contents of the box. As usual, there are no earphones. And now let's look at the phone. So here's the phone in plastic wrapping. On the back we have the regular warning information, SIM card tray information and so on. So let me just peel this off. Next we have another sticker with IMEI number information. Let me just remove that. So guys, this is how the nitro blue color looks like right out of the box. It does look quite premium and definitely better than the previous Realme 2 Pro. Now let's see how it's gonna look with the case on. Okay, putting the case on seems to be pretty difficult. A few moments later. So guys, this is how the phone looks with the case on. It has all the cutouts, even a small raised lip for the camera module to protect it, and a pretty big chin for the display, and most importantly it has this special flap kind of a thing for the charging port. Now with this free case on, these buttons are slightly hard to press, but they are still pretty usable. Now this case can definitely give you some protection, help your phone from fingerprints and give a lot of grip, but it won't do a lot in terms of drop protection, so get a better one. Now with that said, let's have a quick physical overview of this phone and then check out the complete specifications. Now on the back, this phone has a plastic back panel with a fiberglass with the new 3D speedway design. It's a layman's inspired speedway design with an iconic S pattern. And the gradient shade from blue to purple definitely looks quite unique and makes it look a bit more premium. Now putting that aside, at the top it is a dual camera setup with a 16 megapixel primary camera with f1.7 aperture and with a Sony IMX519 sensor. Following that is a 5 megapixel secondary camera with f2.4 aperture for taking portrait shots. Now these two cameras are followed by a single LED flash, and the entire camera unit is protected by a silver strip, and that's followed by a circular fingerprint scanner and Realme branding at the bottom. On the front, it sports a 6.3-inch IPS display with Full HD Plus resolution in the new 19.5:9 aspect ratio, giving it 90.8% screen to body ratio. It even has 400 nits of brightness and 408 ppi. Now this display is protected by 2.5D curved Corning Gorilla Glass 5 for protection, and above that it also comes with a free screen guard pre-applied. Now inside this dewdrop notch, this phone sports a 25 megapixel front facing camera with f2.0 aperture, and above that it has the earpiece. Now coming to the sides, on the right side you get just the power button, and on the left side you get the SIM card tray housing 2 nano SIM slots along with a dedicated SD card slot and the volume buttons. Now the buttons on this phone are made of plastic, they have a nice clicky feel to them, but I wish they were slightly more elevated. Now at the top it has just the secondary microphone for noise cancellation, and at the bottom it has a 3.5mm audio jack followed by the primary microphone, micro USB charging port and the mono speaker grill. Now coming to the rest of the specifications, under the hood this phone sports a Snapdragon 710 processor with Adreno 616 GPU with 4GB of RAM and 64GB of storage. It will be running ColorOS version 6.0 based on Android 9.0, that's Android Pie. Now powering this device is a 4000 mAh battery, it supports fast charging and comes with a box charger inside the box. Now with all this phone has a thickness of 8.3mm and weighs just 172 grams. Just from initial impressions, weight distribution has been done really well. Even though 172 grams is a bit heavy, in hand, phone doesn't feel all that heavy. So that's definitely a pretty great thing. So guys, now let's turn on the phone and see what we get right out of the box. Now this is the first boot and it simply says Realme powered by Android, and that's all. Let me just fast forward it a bit. So guys, this is how the phone looks once we turn it on. This is your default launcher and it does come with an app drawer. So these are all your applications. And this phone is running ColorOS 6.0, that's just like the Realme 3. So you have a lot of new things to check out. So this is the new notification area, these are the new notification toggles. And you get this huge brightness slider, just like the Xiaomi phones or MIUI. Next, whenever you press the volume buttons, this is what you look at. This is the new brightness, this is the new volume slider. It looks a lot like Xiaomi phones, and when something's good, it's really not wrong to copy it. At least that's what I think. Anyway, let's check out the storage information. This is a 64GB variant, so let's see how much of free storage we have right out of the box. First, I'll try to show the RAM details. So out of that 4GB of RAM, we get about 1.8GB of free RAM right out of the box. And coming to storage, out of that 64GB of space, we get about 46.8GB of space for our user apps and user data. That's definitely more than sufficient, as this phone also comes with a dedicated SD card slot. Now let's check out the about page. Now this is the about page, and this phone is running ColorOS version 6.0 based on Android 9.0, that's Android Pie. And this phone has the March security patch, which is kinda okay. Now let's check out the camera interface. So this is how the camera interface looks like, just like all the previous Oppo and Realme phones. So we have the chroma mode over here. So that simply super saturates the colors. Now you can swipe left or right to change the different modes. And as usual, you also get this button over here for 2x zoom. This is a digital zoom, not an optical zoom. Now this is the video interface, and we can record video even in 4K resolution. And this phone also supposedly has electronic image stabilization. I'll post a small video showing you the stabilization later. And these are all the different modes. First we have the nightscape mode, which supposedly takes better pictures in low lighting conditions. Once again, I'll have sample shots for that as well. Next we have the regular panorama, expert mode, time lapse and slow motion. This phone is also supposed to record slow motion video at 960 fps at 720p resolution and 120 fps at 1080p resolution. As you can see, as of now there is no option to change the resolution or the frame rate. So we'll have to look into it later. Now this is the interface for the front facing camera and initial impressions. Front camera or the selfie camera looks pretty good, and you might be able to take some pretty good looking selfies. Now this is video recording. And finally we have the portrait mode, that's portrait selfies. And these are the two modes that we have, that's panorama and time lapse. Now these are some sample pictures. Now let's test the speaker loudness.
It's a tug of war, battling to keep my sanity. Say no more. I love you, I look at myself, I wonder why you don't recognize who you traumatize me.
Hi there guys, I'm Nikhil from GreedyTech, and in this video I'll be showing you a pretty good looking case for the Redmi Note 7 and the Note 7 Pro. Now before we get started, let's have a quick look at the phones and what they have right now. So this is the Redmi Note 7 and on the right side I have the Redmi Note. So guys, speaker on this phone is pretty loud, probably not the loudest in the price segment, but probably the best in the price segment for sure. It is definitely sufficient for media consumption, ringtones and alarms, and so far I really don't have any complaints. Hi there guys. Now, if you just notice for a second while you're watching videos on YouTube, you can do the spin gesture to go full screen. Now it just gives you a much more immersive experience. And as a new feature, you can swipe near the notch like that to get these extra options. These are called quick actions, quick applications, and so on. This is a smart bar. So we can take a screenshot, record the screen. We can even open applications quickly, and it can even open floating windows right on the screen. So this is like a very unique feature on ColorOS or Realme phones and Oppo phones. Now while you're using your phone in the portrait mode, you can do this gesture over here to bring up the smart bar. Once again, these are all your applications, these are your quick actions and some more quick actions at the top. So this is the floating window I've talked about earlier. Now going on next, you can also add or edit this list of applications. You can add new applications or remove them. And at a time you can have only a maximum of 4 applications in a page. If you add more, you have to swipe it like this. Now let's test the face unlock feature. Now before we get started, these are the settings for face unlock feature, and I would suggest you to turn on some toggles and disable a few. For starters, turn on this first one, that's screen brightness compensation. So even if you try to use face unlock in low lighting conditions, display screen lights up and tries to see your face and unlock the phone. So definitely enable this toggle. Next, use face unlock for unlock and other things. Make sure you enable this one. Going on next, make sure you select the second option over here so that whenever you're using face unlock, phone automatically unlocks. You don't have to swipe up the lock screen. Finally, you have a toggle over here for closed eye detection. Now if you don't want face unlock to work if your eyes are closed, enable this toggle or else disable it. I'll just keep it off. Now let's test face unlock feature in good lighting conditions. Now my eyes are open and as you can see, face unlock is super fast. We can't even see the lock screen. That's the lock screen. And unlock. Its face unlock is super fast, just like all the previous Oppo and Realme phones. Now let's test it in low lighting conditions. I'm just going to turn off all the lights. Now this can be considered as low lighting condition, and this is what the camera is looking at. So it's not completely dark. Let's try it in this lighting condition, and once again it is super fast, as if it was using an infrared sensor. Now let me turn off all the lights and see if it works. So that's the lock screen. It's trying to increase the brightness because it's completely dark. Once again, it's pretty fast. By the way guys, it is completely dark right now, and this is what the front camera is looking at. It is completely dark. So here's a quick look once again. So guys, face unlock works really well on this phone in all lighting conditions, especially in good lighting conditions. It is insanely fast. Now let's test the fingerprint scanner. I've already set it up, so here we go. Once again, fingerprint scanner is also insanely fast. Like it just takes like a split second to unlock the phone. So guys, there you have it. Now the most highlighting features of this phone would definitely be its cameras, Snapdragon 710 processor, and this walk charger. Now this walk charging or walk charger is really special. Now unlike your regular Qualcomm quick charger that you can find on Redmi, Redmi Note 7 and even the Samsung phones, this is insanely faster, and you can charge your phone at the same rate. Like you can charge your phone quickly even while you're using it, and while you're charging your phone using a walk charger, your phone doesn't get hot. Basically, this is the same tech that you can find even on the OnePlus phones, but they call it dash charging. while Oppo and Realme calls it the walk charging. So walk charging is definitely one of the most highlighting features of this phone, and with a massive 4000 mAh battery and all that performance, this phone is definitely a beast. Now these are the Antutu and Geekbench scores. Guys, for a very quick comparison, on the left side I have the Realme 3 Pro and on the right side I have the Redmi Note 7 Pro. These two phones are the primary competition for each other, and in most regards, at least as of now, Realme 3 Pro definitely offers you a great value for money. And comparatively, it's much more easier to get a Realme 3 Pro instead of a Note 7 Pro. Anyway, I'll be doing an in-depth comparison between these two phones, stay tuned for that. And for now, let me know what do you think about this phone by commenting below this video. By the way guys, if you're planning to buy this phone, use the link in the description, and as always, if you want us to make any specific video, tweet out to us with the hashtag AskGreedyTech on Twitter and we will try to make it as soon as possible. I'm Nikhil from GreedyTech signing off. Have a nice day.